Hello, hello, and welcome to You Are the Masterpiece podcast, where we continue to discover that we are work in progress and at the same time the masterpiece, right? So we do not have to be perfect as long as we are taking the effort. And if this is the first time you are tuning in, hello and welcome to this beautiful podcast. My name is Irina Portnova, and I teach people how do we manifest consciously the success, the business, and everything, and our relationship with ourselves, because that's the most important one. And I am here today with wonderful guest, Dr. Pat. Dr. Pat, thanks so much for saying yes and coming today.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm so grateful to be here. Always grateful to be in your presence, your warm personality, your smile. You're just a wonderful person to be around. And I'm so glad that we've connected on several platforms, seven communities, whatnot. God just seems to keep bringing us together and keeping us together. And that's what's very important about business. We have to make the right connection. So, again, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. So, Dr. Pat, let's just dive in because I love today's conversation. It's actually very related to anybody who is in online space, for somebody who has their own business, and particularly if you are the coach, the consultant, the healer. This is exactly your episode because today we are going to talk about the queen for visibility, and she's going to share about how do we actually become more visible in the virtual world. All right, the
Awesome.
floor is yours.
Oh, wow. Okay. Awesome. 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 That's a very great question. It's a question that I live by. And that's because one day I decided to be an entrepreneur. After working 29 years in the corporate arena in law enforcement, I retired in 2016. And of course, I did 12 years in the U.S. Army Reserves. So I have certainly paid my dues of working for the
Mhm.
corporate arena. And in the process of all that, knowing that I was coming upon my retirement, I knew that I had better decide to do what in the world am I going to do when I retire? You spend 29 years on a job, then you're going
Mhm.
to have all this time left over when you retire. So I believe that preparation is the key to my success in anything that I do. So I didn't wait till I retired to start my business. I started my business 2 years before I retired. And I went out to see what the entrepreneurs were doing. I had to learn what they was doing in that arena. I also invested in coaches because I wanted to be a public speaker. And I just hung out with those entrepreneurs. And that's when I invested in myself and I hired various coaches to achieve various goals. And I'm just so proud of myself because I did a great
Mhm.
job. And today I'm where I am because of the coaches that I invested in and the people that I network with along the way. And
Yeah.
so that's where visibility strategies came about. When
Mhm.
I had to discover my gifts. And that's what people have to understand that they have to discover their gifts. We all have them, but sometimes we don't know what they are. And that's what I do as a visibility strategist is I bring people together. I set a platform for people to who are entrepreneurs to receive more visibility on their brand, the words brand awareness, because only way people are going to know what we do, we have to get out and tell them. And we have to stay in front of as many people as possible. And what we do for entrepreneurs is set up speaking platforms so that they can speak not in front of one person, but when you're in public speaking, then you get to speak to groups. So what Unity and Service does is we fill the seats while you speak.
That's
We do the
beautiful.
heavy lifting. Yeah, we do the heavy lifting. And that's what visibility is about. If visibility is about you being in front of as many people so you can get your brand known, because that if they don't know you exist, then guess what? They're going to go somewhere else and buy from other people. So what we do is
Mhm.
we assist you also through the use of podcasts, interviews, as well as making sure that the interviews and the events that you speak at, that you have good quality content, perhaps to post on your YouTube channel, to post on social media, and because all of those things has to do with being visible. We also teach individuals how to use social media, how to schedule their post to go out. We teach them how to use Facebook Messenger, And then, of course, we always talk about the text message. So when we talk about how are we to be visible? It's so many ways to be visible. We haven't even tapped into the live videos. And these are the things that I've learned in my decade of being an entrepreneur and setting these in-person and virtual events. I realized that a lot of entrepreneurs don't utilize social media to its advantage. And there are about 4.5 billion people on social media. And so on one platform or another, over 15 some odd platforms. And I find that a lot of times they think they don't have time. And what we do as well in our events is the events that we host. And when people buy into our speaking program, we also, they're accessible to us, so we're constantly giving them information, tips, strategies, so that they can be better. And I call that word inspiration, because the best
Mhm.
way for me to get the word across to people I can't actually always reach is to be an example. And I had a young lady
Mhm.
text me this morning. She said, I learned so much from watching you. I said, that's the goal. So
I
kudos to
love
unity,
that.
kudos to Unity and Service for being visible
Yes,
in a
so
virtual
beautiful.
world.
I love that. And Sandra says hi to you.
Hi,
And
Sandra. Hi.
hi. So I wanted to kind of just anchor a couple of points you mentioned. You mentioned that we grow when we have the coach by our side. And I feel this is super, super important. Like you are coaching people how to be visible as well, right? Because again, if we do not have somebody by our sides, it's very long way, because if we do not know what to do, it can be just frustrating. It can be a long way to go, right? And I always love to say that even money can't buy the time. And when we hire the right person, we have that shortcut to actually receive what we desire, right? And again,
That's right.
coaches have coaches, and we both have coaches. And it's just the invitation to everyone who is watching this episode,
Yeah,
understand that we do not have to be lonely on this path. And when we talk about visibility, like you are saying, you are having these stages for people, right? It's all about collaboration, because that time when the person was just running the business alone as solo, right? It's
yeah,
gone, because now we realize we are super more powerful when we are together than
that's
we
right.
are apart. And that's the beauty of it, right?
That's right. I
Lawan,
certainly agree.
yeah, Lawana also says hello to us. Hello, Lawana. It's great to see you with us. Yay,
Hey,
awesome.
Loretta, how are you?
Yes, yes, yes. So let's continue talking about it. And I love the point that you mentioned, Dr. Pat, about, a lot of times coaches and healers come in and say, you know what, nobody wants what I have. And the
Mm,
reality is, it's just not enough people actually seeing what they have to offer. Because if we are doing this work, if we are on the path, if this is our gift to share, it doesn't mean that we have to struggle. It means we have to be in the right places, and we have to have the guide by our side.
that's right. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. And I want to add that you're right. A lot of times entrepreneurs think they have to do it alone, and they don't have to do it alone, because we are here to work together, but we do have to be strategic about the
Mm-hmm.
people that we choose to work with us, or who we choose to, work by our side, or we work by their side as a unit. And but what I will say this: when your mind is in the right place and you program your mind to know what you desire by faith, I
Mm-hmm.
think you know that through faith and action, God is going to send you the right people. Yes, you
Mm-hmm.
may have to go through some challenges and go through a few that does not align with your vision, but I do believe that when you stay focused on your desire by faith, you will reach those right people. And that's whether it's for a season, because people are not in our lives forever, but sometimes, but every person that God puts in our path, and I'm a witness to this, they was there for a reason, and I got something out of it, as well as
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. So we just have to be intentional, and we have, you said it earlier, you just have to keep moving. You have to keep
Absolutely.
moving. It's no time to stop when you get a little frustrated. It's no time to stop when you think, well, things are not going the way you envision them. What you have to do is just keep moving, and one step at a time, you're going to get closer to the goal, because the blessing or whatever it is that we desire is on the other side. And I want
Mm-hmm.
people to understand that visibility is not a luxury. It's nothing luxurious about being visible. Visibility is a necessity. You have to
Mm-hmm.
do it. And too many entrepreneurs treat visibility, in my own opinion, as an option, like it's something that they'll get. I'll get to it when I get to it. How often do I hear
Mm-hmm.
that? I'm not on social media like I should, but I know I need to be there more.
Mm-hmm.
And this type of attitude is going to keep us stuck and hidden. And one of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs do make is being invisible. That's not going to cut it.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to cut it. Instead
Mm-hmm.
of being essential. And it's essential that unity and service keeps this business out there, product, services, what we do in the forefront, in front of as many eyes as we can, because that is what has kept us afloat for over a decade. We've been filling seats for over a decade, attendees as well as speakers. And we have a speaker program that we're still doing it. So I'm grateful for the gift that God has given to me, because I love seeing people connect and grow together. And I love the
Mm-hmm.
challenges too, because they make me and they shape me. That's
Oh
my
my God.
spirit. I'm
This
sticking
is,
to it.
yeah, this is the key challenges, right? Because again, I always say the only way we do not fail or having the obstacles if we are not trying something new, right? Because this is the way it is. When we are doing something we haven't done before, it's natural that we are going to face some obstacles, some challenges, but we are not allowing these challenges to define who we are. Actually,
That's
we
right.
are growing and evolving through these challenges, right? And
That's
it's
right.
like such a great thing, because a lot of times it's not even what we receive at the end, but who we become in the process that
That's
becomes
right.
even more valuable for ourselves, right? Because again, once we connect to that power within ourselves, nothing can stop us, because we know no matter what's gonna be around us, we can always reinvent ourselves.
Absolutely. And once we see, if we look back over our life, sometimes I have to remember, because like you said before, we all get a little, shaken and
Yeah.
frustrated because things are not going our way. But I always reflect back, and that's what I call gratitude. And I start thanking God for what He has done. So sometimes we need to remember, some of us, as we say, the bridge that brought us over. If God did it once, He'll do it again. So there's no need to stop. All we have to do
Mhm.
is do more of what we are already doing. And I want to tell you
Mhm.
something. You could be the most talented person in the room, and you can have the best products, the best service, the best heart, and still be overlooked. And why is that? Not because you're not good enough, but because you're not seen. And I say that because how many times do we have people come on our platforms for the events and coaching programs that I attend, different things, anytime we're on these Zoom platforms and people are behind the screen. Even if you're not sure and certain on your vision or on where you're going, if you come into an event, just show up, because people need to know you even before you start promoting that product or service. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yes, absolutely. And I love that, like sometimes, like you mentioned, when people are afraid, that's why they have you, because you'll teach them how do we go on social media, how do we post. And let me tell you, a lot of times that accountability piece is so powerful, because
Yeah,
if we do not have to report to anybody, we are going to skip it, right? So it
that's
just
right.
shows that again, together we come together as a team and we work as a team, and that power of collective energy, when we are all striving for something better, for success, we all succeed together, right? Again, just showing that
Absolutely.
the help is always out there, but it's up to us to reach out for that help. So let us just
Absolutely.
quickly break, have a quick break for the commercial, and we'll be right back. Stay, don't go anywhere. All right, and we are back here with Dr. Pat talking about visibility in the virtual world, how important it is, and why do we not have to do it alone? Even if somebody is saying, like you mentioned, Dr. Pat, right? Saying, okay, not today. What are we waiting for, right? The sooner we do it, the
Mhm.
faster we are going to see the outcome.
That's right. That's right. The sooner we do it, the better. The sooner we do it, the sooner we're going to get the connections with the people that we need to connect with. And the sooner we connect with the right people, they get to know, y'all know it. The audience knows this, know, like, and trust factor. Then, of course, those are the people that's going to start investing in you because they're getting a chance to see you, hear you, and connect with you. And this is why during our events, we host events that allow us to what we call use the breakout room so that we can have those networking sessions. Unity and Service makes sure that we give all of our speakers as well as the attendees, when they attend, they receive a copy of the email list. Why? Because people need the email list to build that list. If I'm not mistaken, I needed an email list to be on your platform. How about that?
Yes. Yes,
You
absolutely.
know, and they don't know what they're missing because a lot of times you can get speak on an event at events, summits, and things of that nature, podcast interviews, just because you have agreed to share their information, share the event. And a lot of times people don't, they will not upload those emails. They don't save them. You talk to some of them sometimes. It's like, oh, I know you sent it, but I didn't do anything with it yet. And I'm going in now. When I hear these types of responses from entrepreneurs, it makes me happy that I'm who I am. And it makes me grateful that God has given to me what he has given to me. And this is why I'm so passionate about what I do, because he could have given it to somebody else. But I know if I do his job well, same thing with our children. If they take care of that one pair of shoes, what are we going to do? We're going to buy them another
Mm-hmm.
pair. We're going to buy them
Mm-hmm.
another pair. And this is how I look at my business and the gifts that God has given to me, you know. And people cannot support what they do not see.
Yep.
And that's what I just don't understand it. I don't have time. Well, you got to find time. It's called time management, you know, and it's just so many ways. When we on an airplane, we're not driving. Be
Mm-hmm.
on social media. When you're in Uber, how many of us catch Uber sometimes? We just don't feel like driving, or where we going is so far. Well, let me just catch Uber, Lyft, whatever. When you're in the back seat, use social media. You know, when
Mm-hmm.
you're on a cruise ship, you're not driving. Use social media, and all of these places allows us to have access to the internet. So when you talk about being visible, oh no, it's no excuse for not being visible. You know, because it's just a matter of utilizing your time and utilizing the resources that we have. And this right here, this cell phone, it's in our hand 24/7. I'm going in, even in the bathroom, we take this phone with us in the bathroom. So it's no
Totally.
excuse why we cannot be visible in this
Mm-hmm.
virtual world.
I
It's all a
love that.
mindset. It's all a
I
mindset.
love it. And especially just think about it, Dr. Pat, before people had to pay to be on somebody's platform in order for them to tape that, right? Now everybody has the access to social media. So it's actually more accessible to everybody. But then again, if you want to have better results, partner with the expert who can take you there faster.
Yes, absolutely. And we definitely have speaking opportunities available. We have our May 29th event coming up. We just finished our April the 23rd event. We've done January, we've done March, and we have a few more events to go for the year we're writing out. And I'm just so grateful because people see the value of being on a speaking platform. It's a lot of reasons we all need to speak is because
Mm-hmm.
number one, it sharpens our skills. Number two, we reach more people at one time.
Yep.
Number three, we connect with other collegiate partners. You know, and that's a bonus. Not to mention when you're talking about your business and your products and how you serve others, the attendees that will reach out to you from the information that you put in the chat, from the emails that we send out, whatever. People will find you when they know that you exist. But if you don't
Mm-hmm.
exist, because we're living in a time right now, uh, Irina, we're living in a time right now where attention, stay with me, Attention is currency.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everybody's on, those that are on social media is on social media. And that's why those people, all a lot of stuff we see on social media, everybody's bringing their whole lifestyle in social media, good, bad, and ugly,
Yep.
because people are craving attention. And this is why we enjoy doing what we do, because we love pushing you out on when you're in our events. We're going to share that content across social media with your picture on it. We're going to give you a picture to share with your network, because we want the world to know, because when people see you active on social media, other doors of opportunity is going to open. It's not about visibility, sis. It's not about being vain and self-serving. It's not about any of that. Visibility is about making an impact and a lasting memory, so that when people do need you, they'll find you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh my God, I love that. And I just also wanted to add, you never know who is watching you, right? That's why continue showing up. Sometimes people are saying, oh, I did something and there was crickets. Well, it's not about doing one time, it's actually staying consistent, right? And we just
That's right.
had this conversation before going live, right? It's all
Yeah, we
about
did.
consistency, be disciplined, and just stay inside the process, right? Because a lot of times people are so focused on the end and result that they do not enjoy the process itself, and who they are growing into, how they are making decisions, how they are taking actions. This is the beauty. It's like stay in present and just enjoy. Today I send out the emails. Today I showed up at somebody's platform. Today I connected with the wonderful person, right? The more we start noticing these things, the more we realize that, hey, we are progressing. Hey, we are going, we are moving. And that's exactly how manifestation happens. Manifestation doesn't happen when we just meditate and wish for something. It's actually happens through the movement, because when we move, that's where the clarity comes and we know exactly what we are doing. So there is no such a thing right or wrong. It's always like just take a step and something is going to reveal to you.
I like that what you just said when you said it's always about the movement. And I
Mm-hmm.
always say money follows motion.
Yep.
Money follows motion, and that's just the way it is. If we're not doing anything, then of course, and showing ourselves and showing who we are, then of course people cannot pour into the services that we offer. And I want to say that it's somebody right now, somewhere that's looking for you, looking for
Mm-hmm.
me. They
Yep.
want what we have. But
Mm-hmm.
guess what? We have the solutions. Everybody has a solution to somebody's problem,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you've invested in yourself and actually and you're clear on your calling. But guess what? When we're hiding behind the camera, when we're hiding behind the text, when we're hiding behind the phone, we don't want to pick up the phone and do a follow up. When we're hiding, I'll admit that visibility, yes, it can be uncomfortable for some people.
Mm-hmm.
It can feel like pressure sometimes, because it's something people are not accustomed to do. But I want you to know that we are holding people up when we are not making ourselves available and visible, so that they can be attracted to us, and then we can be in a position to serve them. And I think that's one of the biggest robberies that we can do as
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurs. We talk it, but I find that a lot of times people are not walking the walk, but they're
Yep.
talking the talk, because it's that moment for them to talk, and they getting that they hungry for the attention. But then when you reach out to them, sometimes they don't even answer the phone. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Mm-hmm. I love that. It's just the difference between knowing something and showing up in life in that way, right? So there is a huge difference, because a lot of times people are saying, I know what I have to do. So it's not about another strategy. It's actually about the taking the action and sticking to that and trust that something
Right.
is unfolding. Even like sometimes we do not see it instantly, but again, it just like talking about the roots that are growing underground, right? We do not
Right.
see how deep they are, how big they are. We only see, what's coming out. So sometimes we are under impression that nothing is happening. Nothing is happening when we are not doing anything. But when we are in motion, it's definitely create the impact and create the result.
I love that. I love that. When we are in motion, that you can't say that enough. And we're reading this book now, and it's about just this.
Receive
It's
and
not.
reach it, the
Yeah,
riches.
I was gonna say the science of getting rich. We read that too, but no, receiving
Mm-hmm.
your riches, and that's exactly what it's about. He says that Watto said that Wallace says that we have to do things in a certain way. And this is why some people get rich, some don't, because you have to do things in a certain way. And sometimes that question may be, well, what is a certain way? Well, for me, that certain way is that if what I did in April's event worked, and we had
Mm-hmm.
100 and something registrants, all of them didn't show up, but I had 160 something registrants. That's enough for me, because now I got 100 some emails on my list, aside from the ones that was already there. And then on top of that, the attendees walk away with a ton of emails that they had, the actual people that came to the event. They walk away with over 70 some emails that they didn't have when they came to the event. So if that worked in April, and not to
Mm-hmm.
mention the testimonials that I received in the process, Unity and Service received, the team. So if that worked in April, then what am I going to do for May's event?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to do the same thing.
Yes, do something,
Do the
repeat
same
something
thing.
that worked. Right. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And
Yes.
so sometimes we make this thing bigger than it is. But if that worked over there, I'm going to do the same thing in May's event, and I might just add a little more flavor to it. How about that?
Yes. I love that. Oh my God. I just enjoyed this conversation. So do you want to give some kind of tip for people to leave them with something that, like they can just really lean on and just say, oh my God, Dr. Pat, you are so right. It's time for me to move.
Well, number one, I want to say we don't become leaders by being invisible.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody wants to carry the titles, author, co-author, coach, this, that. We want to carry all those titles. But my question to you is, are you being visible so that
Mm-hmm.
people can find you when they need you? So leadership, true leadership, is about being visible. And there's so many ways that we can do that. And of course, I want to share with people that uh, people, a lot of us have desires. A lot of us have desires. But having a desire is not the problem. We have the desire, but I want to say that the problem is a lack of commitment. And when you
Mm-hmm.
make a commitment, I'm going in because this is dear to my heart because I see it so often. When you make a commitment is a commitment. And I find that
Mm-hmm.
people have a tendency to break commitment so easily. And then they're looking at you, looking at me, looking at Kathy, looking at Joe over there, wondering, how are they so successful? And I'm not. And then they get discouraged and want to stop. Well, you're not successful, or you're not achieving what you desire because you're not putting in order to get out. You get out what you put in.
Love
And
that.
commitment, your word is everything. Because
Mm-hmm.
God sees you. He's the one reward you for your diligence. He's the one reward you for your integrity. Not me. Not me. So that's just a nugget. That's a
Mm-hmm.
nugget. People fail not because of a lack of desire. We all want to be millionaires and billionaires and trillionaires. But people fail because of a lack of commitment, because we don't want to do the work that it's going to take to be the millionaire, the trillionaire, and the billionaire. That's my story that I'm sticking to.
Yes. And I just wanted to add, I love it so much. And I want to add another point that don't forget that you do not have to do it alone, because alone it's tough, but when you have the community of people who are on the same track, right? So sometimes we, like if we connect to that desire, now we want to be around like-minded people who have similar goals, similar desires. So
That's
you
right.
keep going, even sometimes when you don't feel like it, right? Because again,
That's right.
look at everybody, look at the athletes. Do they really feel like waking up every morning and training? Of course, they might not, right? Look at
That's
anybody
right.
who has some expertise, right? Whether this is a musician, whether this is somebody who is learning the new skill, new language, everything requires the effort. And once you start doing something, it's easy to continue. But the idea is just to start. So, my invitation is, if you are still not visible, this is your moment to start. Not tomorrow, not next month, but actually right now, as you are listening to our conversation, something has to shift, something has to have the movement. And that's exactly where you want to connect to Dr. Pat and ask, how do I become more visible?
That's right. How do I become more visible? And we invite everybody to come to join us on May the 29th. They can go to our Eventbrite page right now. They can go
Mhm.
to the systems. We're going to be talking about all these different systems that will assist us in rocketing our businesses forward. And we have several awesome, amazing speakers. And that would be systems2026.eventbrite.com.
Let me put it in.
Systems2026.eventbrite.com. And I want to close with this to let people know
Mm-hmm.
that people are not looking for perfection. Even though we want to be perfect, so we wait. Well, I'll wait till I get this done. I'll wait till I get that done. People are not looking for perfection, but they're looking for realness. They're looking for people who understands them. They're looking for people who has walked through something. They're also looking for people to guide them. And guess what, Irina? That someone
Mm-hmm.
is you. That's
Yep.
my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity and Service, where people need people. Over to you.
Woohoo! What a strong ending of this beautiful conversation. So, thank you so much, Dr. Pat, for this beautiful convo. Thanks so much for everyone who joined us, Lawana and everybody else who is watching. If you're watching in the replay, just type in the comment replay so we know. Also, share with somebody who you feel is going to benefit from this conversation, because, again, sharing is caring. And
All right.
let's continue the visibility, let's continue growing and succeeding all together, because we were never meant to do this work alone. Thank you
Awesome.
so much, Dr. Pat, and I'll see everybody on the next episode. Bye.